thereafter is critical knowledge. And that this knowledge, if given the right position within our mind and our life, can be a source not only of blessings in the next life, but it can be a source of personal improvement, of family improvement, community, nation, and ultimately the whole world. If people really knew what was ahead of them, what was on this path, then they would not spend so much time fighting over trivia or fighting over material things in this world. And no doubt, many of the traditions that have come to us are very frightening. There is a lot of fear in this.
Bam. I greet you in the words of Assalamu alaikum, which means peace and blessings be upon you. And I mentioned both Jesus and Muhammad's names. Peace be upon them both. They were both messengers of truth and reality. And I want to say hi to the people in America, Central America, Europe, Asia, the Middle East, Africa, Europe. I'm leaving out somebody. But anyway, I have my co-host Alderman Jones, Eric. Say his name.
Eric Russell.
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 And the president, Todd, Stroger. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, sir. And please.
Well, I'm former ward committeeman and alderman of the 15th Ward in the city of Chicago. And I'm happy to have the president here with us and Mr. Eric Russell, who's in the insurance business.
Along with President Stroger.
Oh, I was going to get to that. All right. I think he's not doing nothing, but he's doing something.
Absolutely.
And
gotta do something.
well,
Yes,
well,
sir.
when I
Yes,
got out
sir.
of prison, I passed the test again, but they wouldn't allow me to have my license.
Really?
They were punishing me till yet. But we're going to get into some conversation and talk about what are you going to do in the future?
What am I going to do in the future? Well, to be honest with you, I'm really looking at the 4th District County Board seat. I need to get back in, and you know what I think we're really missing. You know, when I look at the big picture of politics, what I see now is what I call the progressives are pretty much running the show, at least in our town. And I'll be honest with you, I've never been the most friendly person with progressives, because when I see progressive, generally what I see is we want to help you, but we want to help you if we can run the show. You can be with us, but we want to be the people who are telling you what to do. And it's pretty much the same as it was when it was just like the regulars. You aren't going to be the leader. We're not going to put one of your people in charge of anything important. When they look for black people, they look for black people from other states. And I see that from the mayor's office, the county board president, and the governor's office. We are not empowered. And, you know, the Republicans always used to like to say, you know, nobody gets rich from government. Well, you know, I always say, well, tell that to Motorola and IBM and Rayon and what's that, Warburton or whoever that group is. All these groups get millions of dollars. And as you go through the century, I guess it's billions of dollars that go through those countries and pay people. And we don't have anybody talking about us, just us regular folks.
My philosophy is this: politics without economics is nonsense. That's what it is.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
Everybody that don't look like us understands that.
Yes.
We're the only ones that don't understand that.
I totally agree with you.
All right.
And my father, from looking at him for 70 years plus, and what he was doing, what I learned from him is organize. When you stand together, they have to recognize you, because you have to bring something to the table that they're going to need eventually.
Excuse me. Before we touch on that, y'all want to discuss your insurance business briefly?
I think that's a good idea, because I would talk politics all day.
Absolutely.
I'm going to come back to politics still. But
Well, we recently just formed Knight Insurance Company. It actually was an older company that had been around for about 70 years. President Stroger and I, along with our other business partner, Donald Patterson, rather than let this long-standing insurance company go under, we basically took this company over based on its rich history of service to our community. one thing that we were absolutely fortunate is that to have a brilliant brother like President Stroger
Yes.
to partner with. That's why we're so excited that he still has the fire for public service, because I see it on the day-to-day operation on how he conducts his business, our business
Yes, sir.
in the insurance business.
Yes.
Because a lot of times is that at Night Insurance, we specialize in property and casualty insurance, life, auto insurance. We're really a full-service broker company. We're one of the special programs that we have going on right now is that we're writing property and casualty church insurance,
Okay.
which is huge. Okay.
I'm gonna say that, you know what? Now I'm gonna get back to politics. You know what? I thought that it was a shame that Chicago Sun-Times attacked Todd Stroger. But I mean, you wanted an increase of how much? 1% or something
It was,
like that?
yeah, it was 1% on the sales tax.
Okay, but here it is. The taxes have went up so high since Prepwinkle got in, and you had a balanced budget. I mean, do you have any response to the Sun-Times and about that particular situation?
Well, I
Sorry
always
to
say,
put you on the spot. But
no, not at all.
Okay.
You know, my father had a stroke. I think that would be March, and then from that point on, there was an attack on the Stroger name.
Yes.
From not just the Sun-Times, but the Tribune too. They would write an editorial whenever they got the chance. As a matter of fact, there was times when I had, like, this is what we're going to do. The commissioners agree. The editorial would write a scathing. Tribune write a scathing editorial about me,
Yes.
and the Republicans would just start to run. I mean, they were just afraid, even when they knew that we were trying to do the right thing. I realized a long time ago that they never liked my dad. I ran for, I think Eric says it was 8 times. I'm pretty sure it was 7. But I never got an endorsement by the papers, either one.
It was a way he could have battled the Sun-Times, isn't it? But
Well,
I'm sorry. You know what?
From the alderman.
well, I never, worried about them. I was the first committeeman, white or black, that endorsed John Stroger to be the county board president. I'm just sure you're aware of that.
Well,
And
I'll tell you, he was disappointed the first time around because when they had Ted Lekowitz run, because he was assured that the blacks would support him, and they just kind of like pulled the rug out from
I
under.
forced them into a position where they didn't have any other choice when I came out publicly. And we had the Lithuanians on the southwest side and had them to be at the announcement to let them know he had not only folks who looked like us, but he had folks who didn't look like us.
That's right.
Okay.
And see, they had to punish you because they couldn't punish your father.
Right.
See, they have, whether it's Loreno, whether it's any of those other elected officials that have put their kids or family members in, see, they do that. It's all right.
Yeah, nepotism is just
Right, but not
absolutely
when
rampant.
it comes
yeah.
to us. And I'm saying that this time around in that 4th district, that the people need to show them that we're not going to stand for that stuff no more.
Okay. You know what? And that's true. Now, you know what? I'm going to ask a 2-pronged question. Are you looking for workers for your insurance company, and are you looking for volunteers to help you, to assist you in your resurgence back into politics? 2 questions in one.
Well, actually, everything we do, we partner.
Okay.
Even as his business partner, I absolutely support his quest for public service.
Okay.
Because he's one of the few, not only honest and brilliant, he really does have a quest for service. And so we need those type of people in office.
Well, you got jobs for people, though, right?
And not only do we have jobs, we have scholarship programs as well.
Okay.
Because what we're looking at, presently our office is on the west side, but
Yes,
we're
sir.
going to be opening a south side office. And real briefly, I like to say is that we're in the process of forming the African Night Burial Society.
Okay.
And what we're going to be doing is that even with the onslaught of violence is that we need to be able to bury our children with some dignity
Yes, sir. We only got
and not pass the hat.
Okay. And volunteers. About volunteers, you need volunteers, you need donations, please.
We're going.
let us know.
Okay.
We're gonna need all that.
We're going to
and-
take calls after this, but go ahead.
Okay, we're gonna need all that. I'm putting together the group who's gonna help me.
Exploratory committee.
Well, forget that. We don't need an
We're in.
exploratory. We know where we want to go.
Well, I hope we included on the committee.
Oh,
Go ahead.
absolutely.
Yes. So I'm going to put together a website and
I got somebody to do that for you.
Yeah,
but
he
Oh,
did
excellent.
mention it, yeah.
Okay.
so actually really my next step is to go through the volunteers because I need to have a core of people who I can depend on, and
Petitions.
I need like 20 people that I know I can depend on, and then we'll bring more people on. People can be committed at sometimes and committed.
I
not
gonna
committed at
raise
others.
my hand.
Yeah, count me in.
And it's important to know one thing.
Yes.
You don't have to live in that district to circulate petitions based on the law.
Okay.
Right.
You can come from anywhere to
And
help
that's what I
do
must
that.
say. The incumbent commissioner, he does not have the experience.
Yes. Excuse me, y'all. You know what? We got telephone
you
callers,
gotta
and
call
you
'em.
know what? They the ones that make the show.
Yes, sir.
All due respect.
No, that's right.
Hey, next caller, go ahead and beat the drums.
You left your room last today, so close.
You know what? When you call
Yes,
in,
how you
please
doing?
turn your television down.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We just
Sorry, I turned it down.
Okay.
Yes, how you doing, Mr. Todd Stroger
How are
and Mr. Virgil Jones? I admire you guys a lot. And Todd, last time you was on the Mir Muhammad show, I wanted to speak to you because I heard you speak about Nice Insurance Company, and I wanted to get involved then, but somehow they must have didn't translate the information. But this is really, really good that you brothers are getting up here being very, very, informal. And I wonder how do I get into a field under Mr. Todd Stroger or collaborate with him, because I'm currently on the west side. And I think the situation with John Claude, the guy that was supposed to be the CEO for the school, I noticed they do pull a man from the outside. Then once they through with him, they kick him out. Okay. Now, it must be some type of regime here that forces these type of situations. I need to understand what capitalism is, what fascism is, what all these other things is, Mr. Todd Stroger. At the same time, get a job and learn some knowledgeable things to help my people and
We
be
got
a
you.
service to me and everyone else.
We got you, my brother.
Great question.
Well, our insurance company, you can reach me at 312-771-0936. Actually, you can reach me for anything for that number.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes, but what I'd really like to do with our insurance company is bring some people on, have them take the test, go out and sell some life insurance and health insurance and build the business. It's a way to make a living, and it's a good way.
Okay. Next caller, go ahead and beat the drums.
Yeah, good evening to y'all. Do you think the Wilson brothers might go out to politicians too, like they do in other countries, like the United States? Y'all doing a good job.
Thank you. I don't know
Thank
if you
you.
want to comment. Thank you, sir.
One of the things I want to say to you, which is, it's very interesting that most black young men or women who were born and raised in this city, they do everything possible to keep them out of elective office.
Yes, they do.
All right.
That's exactly right. You hit it right on the
And
head.
all you have to do is, even Preckwinkle, she's not originally from here. She's
No, I believe
from
she's from Minnesota.
St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yeah.
All right.
Even her successor, Will Burns, is from Ohio.
Yeah, he's not from here. He's from Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's wrong.
Yeah, and if I
Well,
may interject,
just one thing. And what it does is it means that the only people you meet when you get here are people who are successful already.
Yes.
So you meet the successful blacks. You have no roots with the people who grew up in the neighborhoods. And it's not that they're not successful, but they may not be in that, that upper, I'm going to receptions level. They're your regular working people. The people, I still live on the same block I lived on 47 years ago. Yeah. So I know the neighborhood. I can walk through the neighborhood, hey, everybody knows me.
Yes.
They don't have that. And so they don't have the same feel for the neighborhoods.
Okay. Other caller, go ahead and beat the drums, caller. Okay.
Other caller, go ahead and beat the drums, caller. Yes, can you repeat that number again, Mr. Todd Stroger?
Yes, it's 312-771-0936.
and for any insurance questions, I can be reached at 773-892-5437.
Free consultation. I gotta add that.
That's right.
Disclaimer. But so you know what particular district are you gonna run in again? What district?
It's the 4th district, and it includes the 7th ward, the 8th ward, the 9th ward, the 10th ward, 21st ward, the 34th ward, and
Wow.
parts of
What
suburbs.
are the boundaries out of curiosity?
Oh, it's kind of rocky. I mean, it would take a while to kind of like describe it, but it's a wide district. It takes in some of the suburbs, Burnham, Calumet, and goes up to Lansing.
Far east is Avenue O over
Okay.
there.
Okay. Looking for all volunteers.
Well, one thing I want to say is that's your father's old district,
That's correct.
all right? So that people understand that.
Yes.
And when you look in the city of Chicago, you look at the 39th Ward, there was a guy who was the son-in-law of the alderman who died from there. Then you go on and you look at Loreno, his daughter, he replaced her.
Right.
You go back in time, Eddie Burke replaced his daddy.
Yes,
it did.
yes.
All right. Mel just put his daughter in there,
Yeah, that's right.
and she's gonna win the election.
Sheila
Why?
Simon wants to be controller.
She wants to be
Yeah.
the controller. She
wants
was
to be,
the senator's daughter.
Yeah, Paul Simon.
Now, what's wrong with us putting our own in there who have had a family background and knows Daley, his father was the mayor,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
they waited, and then they finally put him in, all right, so that he could. But when it comes to us, I'll never forget when I was in prison, and a lot of us still in prison, so I don't mind saying that, mentally. I never will forget, there was a guy who was in prison with me, and he brought that point out to me while I was in there. He said, your people should do just what my people do. And one of the aldermen I was in there was Alderman Madrick, and I looked on the board and I saw him going to GED class. I said, you was an alderman for 23 years in the 13th Ward, Madigan's Ward. He said, yeah, but I didn't ever finish high school. I never went to high school.
Wow. Yeah.
Excuse me, we got another call.
Now, I wanted to
Oh,
finish
go
that up
ahead.
by saying this real quickly. And you have a background in business administration. That's why you had knowledge of money.
Only president to balance the city budget,
And
matter
was
of
the
fact.
only president to ballot. And now they're in the red.
Yes.
Not the black, the red. And I don't hear the Sun-Times or the Tribune or any of them saying a word.
No. They won't say a word. Not to this president.
And we need to make mention of the media. You know, besides how the media ostracized Mr. Stroger personally, a lot of the rules and regulations aren't designed to facilitate the needs of black people.
Yes.
Even in the financial industry. So one thing that we try to do at night is that we try to teach insurance as a wealth building mechanism, about reasonable returns, investment portfolios. And the other thing is that we can allow other people to paint pictures of our own people.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of that is what happened to President Stroger. He is a brilliant resource, and you know we're fortunate to have him at night.
It's true. And you know what? We got some more callers. I'm going to get y'all on there. Next caller, go ahead and beat the drums like they did in Africa. Go ahead.
I like that.
You have a question?
Yes. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We cannot hear them. We cannot hear them out here. We cannot hear them. Okay. I guess we have to come to the next call. No more calls. Okay. Okay, what was you going to say? Go ahead, ask me.
Well, one of the things that I think, especially for the 4th District, the rich history from your father. See, because all those so-called Democrats, I disrespect them because your father stuck with them when it wasn't even fashionable to
Right.
stick with them.
Yeah.
All right, when he was being ostracized, when Mayor Washington was running, even though they were friends.
Right.
All right, and they understood politics. But yet, when it came to you, when he saved their sons and etc. by supporting them, they didn't do what had been done.
5 minutes.
They didn't do what had been done for them, for you. And I have no respect for them because they were upset. I know they wrote an article in a magazine in New York about me when I endorsed them that said that I was a renegade alderman. That's what they called me in Chicago. And said that they were upset because I had put the black alderman in a position where they had to go and support him by coming out publicly with Caucasians with us.
Wow.
All right? And they were upset. So I don't respect them. And, you know, Saul Alinsky said this, power runs on two poles. Those who have people and those who have money.
Yes.
Those who have money only have an advantage because they can buy some of your people who are not for real.
That's right.
I want to ask you, some President Stroger, for individuals that are watching out there, why should they re-elect you? Would you convey a message to them about why they should reinstate you into a position?
Well,
That's a pretty, I'm not going to say plea, but
no. Well, what I think people missed during my 4 years, and that's because the press didn't want them to know, is the great job that we actually did. I mean, we did a lot of things in the government. We set up the Homeland Security that hadn't been set up before. We went outside of the government. We did a program with a group called NACA that did home remodification. We had 30,000 people come through McCormick Place.
yes.
We did a summit with the children during the summer. We took them out to the Brookfield Zoo. I was shocked to find that some kids had never been to Brookfield Zoo. Gave them golfing lessons, brought in positive speakers.
2 minutes left.
We did a lot of things that that I think was beneficial to everybody. And as you said, and we made sure that the government ran. And you know, that penny, if they had that penny here today,
Yes, sir.
they would still be running the government. They'd have the money to help fix some of the problems they have. And they'd also have the money to change the healthcare system. They came out with a great plan. They can't use it.
There's something called the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. You familiar with that?
Yes.
And
My
you and I-
cousin tried to always teach me about that because she was a CFO.
You and I know
Yeah.
about that.
Yes.
And that they take the people's money and loan it to the Morgans and the Rockefellers, and
The
they go
secondary
and
market.
they go and invest
Yeah,
it.
in the secondary
And
market.
they
yes.
make every year not less than $140 trillion. Not less than that. So you tell me, why are they all running around from the national level to the county level to the city level talking about a deficit when you've got somebody taking the people's tax money, investing it, and making that kind of money?
Got 3 more minutes left.
Well, as you know, everything pretty much runs on money. You know, the reason they fight so hard about government is because there is all this money and it's going to go to somebody. And they want to make sure that the people who are running the government are their friends, so the money goes to them. You know, I guess maybe in some ways I was too open. I was looking for people to make sure that they got things that hadn't normally gotten them. And I think that ostracized a lot of people who, one of the things that always remain the same. But I've seen, I was an investment banker for 7 years, and one of the hardest things was to break into groups, like take Northwestern University.
Yes.
You know, that's supposed to be a very, you know,
Prestigious place.
not just prestigious, but progressive. They're
Yeah,
progressive
in
too.
their thinking.
Right, in their thinking.
Yes.
But I found out from other guys who did similar things to what I did, is that when you go to Northwestern, they'll tell you the same thing that everybody else does. Well, you know, I've been working with this guy for 60 years, you know, so, you know, we want to keep working with him. So, you know, 60 years ago, minorities didn't have a company that could handle $2 million and invest it or something like that.
We
Now that
just
we're
wrote a
here,
policy
they
for
still
what?
don't want to do it.
Yeah, we just wrote a policy for $34 million.
Excuse me. I think we have like 2 more minutes left. And you know what? There may be a specific message that we didn't ask you that you want to convey to the people. So please.
So we're going to have
each
you
one of
back.
y'all- Will y'all come back to the Underground Railroad?
Oh,
Most
absolutely.
definitely.
We're avid watchers and big fans. What I would just like to share is with that, that At night, we really do have a quest for service. A lot of these black churches are under the impression that Church Mutual is the only organization that writes church property and casualty insurance. It's about time some of these black churches start doing business with people that look like them.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not talking about cut rate insurance. We have Philadelphia, CNA. We're one of the few minority companies. You know, that's the big orange building downtown. I didn't even know what they did for a lot of years.
And you got jobs too.
Yeah, and these people are just taking people for granted. And we need to get some insurance and start burying our children with some dignity and stop passing the hat and use insurance as a wealth building mechanism.
Okay. We got a minute left.
Well, that's the great insurance side. On the political side, we need to actually unify and realize that we are powerful. I think what frustrated me the most was that black people, I mean, I would talk to people and some elected officials, and they were like, you know, I'd sure like to support you, but, you know, the big guys aren't supporting you, so I can't do it. But we don't realize that, you know, if you look from the lake to whatever it is, California and the west side, all the way through the western suburbs, man, those are a ton of people who vote. We shape elections. They have to listen to us. But they only listen to us if we say, you better listen to us or you're going to suffer something.
Is it any type of lawsuit for the damage that the Sun-Times may have done? By
No.
misappropriating
I think
information?
no. The only time I think I could have sued, Paul Darentani when he ran and he had a cartoon of me stealing candy from a baby and being chased from the FBI. That's probably
defamation of character.
That was probably the only time I could sue. But the papers can pretty much just rake you over the coals, and then, you know, on page 69 they say, "Oh, we're sorry, we were wrong about that."
Well, they do that
Assalamu alaikum to everybody. This will be on YouTube.
because they're owned by people who are really not for the people.
No, it's pure capitalism.
It's pure big business that
Yes.
owns all these
We have to
newspapers.
stop everything that the media says. You know, a lot of it is just outright lies.
Well, one of the things that really damaged us, and I know this happened when General Powell's son was the head of the Federal Communications Commission, is they
We wanna be a
changed the
sponsor,
rules
Insurance Depot.
with the how many stations you can own. So now we find that our market is owned by like 3 companies, and they're not looking for any diversity and, you know, some free thinking. They're looking for, you do this line, don't say anything outside of what we want you to say, and we'll all be happy. And that means that we don't have any more freedom. We can't get the message out. I mean, that's why I like WVON.
Cliff Kelly,
They get a chance. You know, Cliff says whatever the heck's on his mind at any point. So
the governor.
yeah.
Well, you know, one thing you learned is what I knew and learned: freedom ain't free.
No, it
Oh,
isn't.
Never has been.
No.
People think freedom is free. And it's time for us, we represent the largest voting age population in the city.
Mhm.
And it's time for us to come together. Because I see them doing to your people the same thing they did to people who supported Mayor Washington. You know what they did to them? They put them all in jail, or so they died strangely.
Yes. Well, there's plenty of people going to jail now, left and right.
What they doing to be aldermen?